This is TJ Legacy, host of the Soapboxx Podcast. The live stream will start shortly, but make sure you like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, and tell all of your friends and family that the most infamous podcast on all your streaming services is about to go live.
TJ, what's goody? It's HB. Can I just big you up real quick with what you're doing with the Soapboxx? Listen, anytime somebody takes their platform to educate and inform the culture of hip-hop with politics, pop culture, doing what you're doing and being responsible with your platform, I can't do nothing but salute you, TJ. Keep doing what it do. Keep repping for the culture. Nothing but love and respect for me, baby. Peace.
Tell me what's really good. It's Peter Rosenberg, Hot 97, ESPN, WWE, GP Podcast, all that. Big shout out to my peoples over at the Soapboxx, all right? My man TJ, Legacy Cole, the whole Soapboxx crew. Incredible new podcast, all right? Politics, pop culture, hip-hop, even wrestling on occasion. It's all there. So go subscribe and make sure you tune in to the Soapboxx. TJ, what up, man? Appreciate you.
Peace to the planet. Charlemagne the God here. What's happening, TJ Legacy Cole? Salute to you, King. Salute to the Soapboxx Podcast. The Soapboxx Podcast is an independent black media podcast, and they talk hip-hop, politics, pop culture, mental health, social justice, a lot of my favorite subjects. Check them out, man. Tune in, subscribe to them. You never know. I'm out here looking at all the different podcasts that are moving and shaking out here because, I got the Black Effect Podcast Network, so I'm going to be checking y'all out, TJ. All right? Keep working.
What's poppin', y'all? TJ is on mute, and he don't even know it. Welcome to the Soapboxx Podcast. Happy to be here. Happy to see y'all.
Wait a minute. I thought we was a team. How you gonna sit there and say, "Oh, he ain't on route. He don't even know it"? Anyway,
that was me letting you know that you was on mute.
Right. Go ahead,
letting you that
do
you
the
was on
opening.
mute.
Do the opening. Go ahead.
What's poppin', Soapboxx Nation? Happy to be here. Happy to see everybody. First of all, it's Thursday today, so y'all know what that means. Tomorrow is Friday, so we lit. Today is the best day of the week. This is where we come together and we just talk about whatever we want to talk about. So I'm gonna start off by kicking it to the host, the creme de la creme, TJ Legacy Cole. How you feeling today? Talk to us, brother.
Yo, I'm feeling good, feeling great. Before I get started, just want to wish a very happy birthday to my mother, who is had a birthday today, and spent time with my mother. So I just came back from Orlando and just chilling with her and had a nice little lunch. So I just wanted to say happy birthday, Mom, because without my mother, there would be no TJ Legacy, literally, and there would be no Soapboxx. So thank you for being there, and hope you enjoyed your birthday.
Right.
So, but with that being said, I'm feeling good, feeling great, all the way from Tallahassee, Florida. Welcome back, Coach Just Javonni. What's up, Just Javonni? How you doing?
What's up, Spirit Fingers? What's up? I'm doing good. Definitely happy to be here. Soapboxx Nation, you all are what keeps me going. So I'm excited to bring some more of what keeps you going.
Hey.
Word. Appreciate it. Y'all already know my internet. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Great, because my thing is acting funny. But I'm gonna throw it to my man, 50 grand. What's up? Going on with the pink silky channeling his camera on back in the day. What's up, Alan York?
Yeah. We had a real intellectual, great, deep conversation last week with our guests. I had to bring it back to the essence. Do-rag daddy had it. I feel great. I feel wonderful. The ladies look immaculate today. I'm saying new hair on both ends, if y'all didn't notice, between the braids and the new color. So I wanted to shout.
I got my hair done too, but it's all good. It's
not my fault if you want to be bashful, if you want to be bandana bashful, man. You know what I'm saying? You're not letting it out. You're not letting it flow. So shout out to the Soapboxx ladies. Shout out to Soapboxx Nation. We appreciate y'all sticking with us. Thank you all so much for sharing the interview last week and for coming back this week. We may have some new listeners. So Shout out to y'all. I'm feeling great, man.
And where can they find us, Alan?
Well, if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook, if you look to the very bottom, you're going to see our Soapboxx Podcast, 2 X's. That's Soapboxx Podcast, 2 X's. And all of your DSPs, wherever you listen to podcasts, wherever you do social media, especially in Facebook, which we are broadcasting live right now. So what's up, Soapboxx Nation? We definitely want to hear from you guys today, too. I know we didn't take questions last week. We had questions we couldn't get off last week, so we missed y'all. We want to hear from y'all today.
Definitely.
Yeah, and shout out to last week. Listen, man, last week was only the beginning. Shout out to gubernatorial candidate Nikki Free for coming on to the show. We got a lot of positive feedback. Actually, one of the clips that we that she cut, her team cut, actually went viral, over 10,000, almost 11,000 views on that one clip. A lot of people in the know politically in the state of Florida is like, look, this is a really insightful conversation, and who knows? Maybe we'll get her opponent. Maybe we'll get some other politicians on the podcast as we vastly approach the election, the primary election. We do have some important dates for you. Jesse, can you give them the important dates? Can you see those important dates? Or I will do it. Can you see them?
Can give them the important days. So we're going to start off by first of all saying thank you for tuning in last week. For those of y'all who live in Florida, early voting starts August 13th and ends August 20th. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. with election day being on August 23rd and the general election where we find out who the governor is going to be on November 8th. So y'all get out there and vote.
Get to the polls.
Word. Appreciate that. But listen, hey, this episode, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is brought to you by the letter R. Everybody say letter R. Hey. R. Yes. So, the controversy this week, and of course, there's always a controversy. People always mad about something. But I think this time it's absolutely justified because there was some let's say some black kids got some early education as to what white supremacy and what racism really is, because we had a situation at Sesame Place, not Sesame Street, at Sesame Place in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where the Muppets
not
or
Disney.
the characters, huh?
I said not Disney.
Yeah, not Disney, not Disney, and our folks at ESPN, not Disney. They would never. Just wanted to put that out there that Disney is A-okay with us. So, but at Sesame Place, this evil place. No, I'm just kidding. Sesame Place, they were ignoring black children. We got a clip that we want to show y'all, and then we're going to talk about the early education of racism that young black children have to go through. All right. So here's the clip.
Rosita's ass. I liked Rosita too. Very disappointed in Rosita.
All the characters are giving high fives to the white kids, white children, but all the dark-skinned black kids, they're getting blatantly ignored.
You cannot ignore that.
Yes, they got ignored. Sesame Place did put out a statement. I'm not sure. Could y'all read that? Y'all know.
Yeah.
My God. Yeah. Can you read it? Go ahead, Jet.
We sincerely apologize to the family for their experience in our park on Saturday. We know that it is not okay. We are taking actions to do better. Sure. We are committed to making this right. We will conduct training for our employees. TJ, I know you love that line. So they better understand, recognize, and deliver the inclusive, equitable, and entertaining experience to our guests. For over 40 years, Sesame Place has worked to uphold the values of respect, inclusion, and belonging. We are committed to doing a better job making children and families feel special, seen, and included when they come to our parks.
All right.
And
So thank you for that. I just want, and I'm gonna turn it over to the moms first. Okay. If you were to take your sons, because you both have sons, to the park, and you were to experience something like that,
I would be pissed
right?
off.
Where the characters are blatantly ignoring your black kids, how would you react as a parent?
I would be pissed off. And just like going back to that statement that I just read, it's like they're trying to kind of like justify their actions, and it's like they're not even going back to like look at the evidence and investigate to see like what happened. It's like they're trying to save their ass instead of seeing like, hey, like this really did happen and this is a problem, so like let's admit to it and let's figure out how we can move forward. Let's punish those, because like, let's be real, right? The people who are wearing those costumes are regular people like you and I. So that tells you more about who they are and who their character is personally, and not the character of Sesame Street. Like, if you think about it, Rosita, she's a Latina character.
Monster?
So they did that to include like inclusive for people that feel included. Right. So we can't like really take it for like, okay, this is who Rosita is, right? But it's who the person is who's portraying Rosita at that time. So we don't know who was working at that time. We don't know what their character is and why they were doing what they were doing. And I feel like what they should have did when they published that statement is investigate and like really look at the clips and say like, okay, well, yes, this was wrong. And this is the steps that we're taking to make it right, because we saw that what she did, or what they did was wrong. And that's how they should have issued the statement. The way they did it was like how everybody else tries to do it when they're trying to save their ass. So it's not genuine at all. So they went about it completely wrong, because if there was more than one clip, there was various clips where this character was going around doing the same thing to Black children. And me as a mom, I don't know if you guys seen, but there was this parody where someone did something with Elmo in Times Square, and they like they did the same kind of scenario, but then they grabbed Elmo's head and they were like, like that would have been me. Like, because you got me effed up. Like, you're not about to play my children like that, because that can be traumatizing for a child, because it's like why them and not me? Like, why are you doing that? Like, that's not right. So I think like, and it's kind of like difficult to say too, because like some of the parents who were in that situation, they didn't know like this is what was happening. So they were like, oh, maybe she, that's just what she has to do, because like whatever the case may be, and she can't like, greet every child. But as a mother, if you knew that this character was doing it only to Black kids and you have a Black child, me personally, I would have went off. I'm not even gonna lie, I would have went off.
What do you say, Jay? What would you have done in that situation when you saw the parent, the kids, like if they did that to Noble, right? They're blatantly ignoring him when he's like excited to see a character. I know he's like a big superhero fan. What if one of the characters was blatantly ignoring him? How would you react as a parent?
You know what? I'm so happy that the mom followed up about it, because a lot of times we brush stuff like, wait a minute, did that just happen?
Right.
No, I don't think so. So I think a lot of what I'm doing I feel like what I'm doing in this new life is like, if I feel tried or disrespected with a company or whatever it is, I'm going to address it. I'm calling a general manager. I'm calling corporate. I don't know, but you're not just going to get away with just talking to me any kind of way, knowing that you're in this position to serve me. You're getting paid off of my service to you and your business. And I would have followed up with that character. It was a parade though, so it was hard to follow up. But I don't know. If it wasn't a parade and it was just like them dancing in the street, Rosita would have got followed. I would have.
I was just about to say, don't nobody fight no more. Don't nobody fight no more. Or you would have tapped on the shoulder.
Yeah, I would have just had to do the nice little tap on the shoulder because I had to do a character. I almost thought I was gonna have to do a character like that before, but no, it wasn't a situation like that. My son was literally walking behind them and tried to catch a character, and I'm like, I know that they was tired, but I almost ran up on the character and was like, hold up, we're gonna have to get a picture. We didn't pay too much money.
Right. That's another thing.
That's a tap on the shoulder, a hard one. And I one of the videos that I saw, seriously, on one of the videos that I saw, I thought it looked like a parent was about to, like, she was like, hold up, don't make me have to go out there. I think it was with the pink one or something, and the mom was like, in the caption on TikTok, she was writing stuff like, I almost walked out there, or I don't know, but I don't remember which one that was. But that is very sad.
You would have went viral for wrestling with Rosita.
Oh, we would have went viral.
Period. Like, what?
But it's sad because what we need to discuss, I feel like, as a community, is at what point do you tell your child they did that to you on purpose?
Right.
That's what the next topic was going to be. That was a great look at you being Miss Professor. Yes. At what point do we sit down and tell our children, our Black children, and give them the education? Because for me, what I think, as with parents, you want to have your kids be kids and preserve the magic for them as long as possible. But there's hardships of the world, especially when it comes to young Black kids, that they got to get indoctrinated and learn about racism, white supremacy early. So that is a good question, and I'm gonna throw it to you, Alan. When do you think kids, young Black children, when do you think that they should be educated on racism, white supremacy, or making them aware that what they're feeling when they feel like they've been done wrong, and calling it what it is?
Yeah.
Good question, TJ.
You're mute.
Yeah,
I got you.
I definitely think it's situational because, as you stated, there is definitely a innocence that you want to keep in children as long as possible. I think that there are situations in which you have to have these conversations very early. I think those situations include like law enforcement, right? I think people see the disparaging changes or just the differences, I should say, with how law enforcement treats you and your family, as opposed to another family who may not be Black. So I think those conversations have to come a little bit early and earlier than you would like. But then I also think that there are different things, like maybe in a case like this, or maybe subtle racism that you may experience going to the grocery store, or especially, I think one of the big things is in academia. I messed that up. Academia and education. I think that gets a little bit tricky as well, because you also want to make sure that you are creating a conversation that doesn't allow for excuses to be made. And I think in school, that's probably the biggest thing that you never want to have. You want to make sure that you're having a conversation with someone who's mature enough to understand these concepts, but also mature enough and more so stuck in their ways academically to know that they are still they shouldn't necessarily have to work twice as hard as anybody, but they still need to put their best foot forward at all times, despite what their surroundings may offer them. So I do think that it's nuanced and it is dependent on each situation. Because I mean, even in a situation like this with Sesame Street, we know what's going on, and it's what they say. It's like it takes a lifetime to build trust, but 1 second to break it. And so the fact that Sesame Street has had this wonderful reputation between everybody, especially Black people, because it was made to educate Black people in Harlem, and all it takes is one idiot who slipped through the cracks and put on a mask for the discourse to completely change after all of these years of being an exceptional organization from what we know. So the reason why I say that is that, in a situation, depending on how old the child is, you may that may be a conversation for you to have with obviously the company and the character, but you may not want to have that conversation with your child, depending on how old they are, because you don't necessarily want them to be jaded for the rest of the childlike activities that they'll be going forth with for the foreseeable future. So it is really kind of a thin line there. And then I just say, there's no right or wrong answer in this situation, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's important for parents to protect their children from the world, but it also bring a sense of reality to them to say, listen, you are a young Black child. This is what you're going to go through. However, I would be more so in the space of, okay, this is going to happen. This did happen, but how do you react to it, right? Because as children who are they're not yet in control of their emotions. Are you going to cry? Are you going to be angry? Are you going to say it? Like, how you respond to adversity is what's going to continue to build character for your child in that type of space. But affirming like, hey, that feeling that you're feeling where you're like, wait a minute, something's up. That ain't the Rosita that's on the TV, because she seemed like she's cool, but this one is giving me the side, just kind of blew me off. Mm-hmm. And you got to let them know, hey, this is a Rosita. I would tell them, hey, this is a Rosita that is, represented. There's a person in a costume. That's where you got to bring them, but you got to gauge it. I think, Alan, you're right when you say it's on case by case basis, because you want to preserve the magic, and you don't want to sit there and allow some white supremacists who have, or some. Because we don't know who's in costume. So it could be a suspected white supremacist, or it could be somebody that look like us that want to be nasty too, because there are coons out there that will do shit like that. So we want to make sure that, but I think it's important for us that those people to be identified, because they'll go back in the break room and start laughing about it. Oh, this Black kid tried to touch me, and I did, but Jesse brought it up, and it's actually so funny because we keep hearing this buzzword, and we heard this buzzword last week from a gubernatorial candidate, Nikki Fried, about this idea of training. There is no way, and I want everybody to understand, you cannot out-train the white supremacists or the racism out of somebody's heart. That is stupid. That you just throwing money at it. That's increasing their funding when it comes to law enforcement, and that's a way to pacify what's the problem. Your hiring practices are the issue, because you're hiring these people who have these views. If you don't hire these people, then they won't be able to do slick stuff like what they did to those Black children. But saying that they need more implicit bias training is basically putting a Band-Aid on a gash wound. It ain't going to work. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that those parents and those kids, the apology that they gave was whack. It was weak. But
it was.
Sesame Place don't really want Black folks to pull up, because they will. You'll start having a whole bunch more Black folks out there, and every Black they'll be changing policies and all these things. So and that's the thing about us. We'll pull up, but also we can destroy that brand too, where nobody wants to show up there.
Mm-hmm.
And once nobody wants to, because you got to think, Black folks have an economic base, right? We spend our money. We don't circulate our money enough in-house, but we spend our money a lot at some of these places, especially for our children. And we don't believe in harming children. So if you get that stigma of, oh, this place is Sesame Place is a racist place, will affect your bottom line real quick. So just play with it, or you could if you could save up and go to Disney, our friends over at Disney, maybe you can get some tickets over there at Disney, where dreams come true. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, but moving on, as we, hopefully those situations get rectified, and it's unfortunate that young Black children have to go through this education process. But I will say this: at a younger age, when you're dealing with overt racism, you're better for it. I remember when I was in from third grade on to my 10th in sophomore year in high school. I was a part of a METCO program where they took inner city black kids and shipped them to suburban schools over in Situate, right in those suburbs. You know what I'm talking about, Jesse, like Hanover, Hingham, all those different places.
Yep.
And the racism that we dealt with early in our lives, we didn't really kind of fully grasp what it was, but we felt it. But now as adults, we're able to be like, oh, and identify exactly what it is. Because the covert racism, I think, is more detrimental and more dangerous. The overt racism is easily identifiable, where you're like, oh, I can see it, I know what that is. But the racism that comes with a smile, that's the one where it's very tricky and hard for children to understand, because sometimes it will come from people who they consider friends or quote unquote allies. But nonetheless, let's switch gears to a more adult topic here. Let's talk about Iman Shumpert. He had a bit of some. Let's say he had some advice for relationships and whether or not men want women to work. So let's hit with celebrity selfies. I gotta make more of those. That was a banger.
It was.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so Iman Shumpert was on a podcast. Don't know what podcast it was.
It wasn't ours.
It wasn't ours. He's more than welcome, but it wasn't ours. But he had some interesting things to say about men in relationships with women who want to work. So I'm gonna let y'all, and we're gonna play the clip, and we're gonna see what he had to say, and then we'll get
Let's
everybody.
hear it.
Who's this bitch?
Hey, listen.
You trust her with what? Hold on.
Stop.
Hold on. Okay, so the question here is, do men really want a woman? Do men really want a woman to pay bills? So there you have it.
Okay. Good question.
What you mean, what girl come in the house and don't pay bills? Are you for real?
I didn't just say that.
You did.
You did.
What?
You said she shouldn't be in your house if she don't pay bills.
No, I didn't. I said if she's in your house, why are you paying all the bills?
Because in my house.
But why is she in your house?
A nigga with money don't want you to listen. I'm gonna give this out to all women worldwide. Niggas with money don't want you paying no. We don't care for you to do that. We not coming to get you for no bread. If you do that and you get your own bread on the side, we gonna clap our hands for it. We gonna smile about it. We gonna be proud of it. We don't need you to do it.
Okay.
That's the advantage of picking us. We don't want you for that. We want to, honestly, we don't, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You the rich nigga on the goddamn. No, nigga, no. You know exactly what I'm saying to you. You speak French now.
So then what do y'all want? If y'all don't want that, what do y'all want?
Ooh, I'm so glad. Yo, our ladies are on it today. They are on it with the transitions. Yes. So what Iman Shumpert said is, look, hey, that's not why we are trying to date you, these women. We are not dating you because we want you to work. We want you to build. They say, hey, I'm gonna take care of that. Some say high value men. Some say dudes who are more established. They're saying, look, we don't really want a woman who needs to be paying the bills. That's not why you're here for. And Jesse actually said the key. She picked it up, and that's why. And let me just say this, right? Because there's a podcast out there that there are some. I don't really do the. Do we do the call out other podcast thing, Alan? Alan be checking me on this. Do we do that?
No,
we don't. Okay. This is the difference between having women on your podcast that can actually have an intellectual conversation and pick things up, rather than having some women who ain't got nothing to say, and then you being a mushmouth podcast host, just sitting there talking your shit, and then basically you having a conversation with women that make you sound smart because they're not as well versed as you. So I just appreciate the fact that we have the quality women that can pick up topics and have engaging conversations. Because I saw a podcast this week that I got really annoyed because I kept seeing their clips on my feed, and it's the same formula, and I was just like, there's levels to this thing. But anyway, nonetheless, that was my little my little rant. Alan won't let me say which podcast I'm talking about, but yeah. But anyway, yes, Jesse said it right. If the man is paying all the bills, what is it that he's actually want? I'm gonna tell you what he wants. He wants to do whatever the heck he wants to do. If he's paying the bills and he's doing he's paying the bills, he's taking care of you, whatever, you are basically a kept woman, right? And so, and I'm not talking about dudes who's working the regular 9-to-5s or dudes who are middle class to higher middle class. I'm talking about these dudes. Iman Shumpert is a former basketball player who's made millions of dollars. I'm talking about some people call high value. I'm talking about dudes who have the upper echelon, top percentage of making wealth money. Those type of dudes, they want to be able to do what they want to do. They come into you because they like, yo, you are here to sex me. You here to go work out. You here to just look good, be on my arm, and be accessible. That's what comes with just that. But you are also going to deal with this dude being out there in these streets, and you not going to be the only one, and you got to be mum's the word and not say nothing because he paying the bills, he's the breadwinner, and so you there in the home just sitting there chilling. That's what comes with that. So ain't no.
If that's the case, those are the type of niggas that you cannot fall in love with. Like you with them.
No, yes.
Exactly. You with them, but you know your role. Like, okay, that's fine. You ain't gotta work, baby girl. He gonna pay all the bills.
You single, but we go together.
He gets to do whatever he wants. What you just said, we single, but we go together, whatever.
No,
so you single.
He's single. No, you go with him.
We single.
No,
single.
You're not.
I don't know. Is that girls, women? They will cheat better than a dude will because we know how to cheat with the right type of dude who will not say nothing.
You talk about collectively? You in
the I'm speaking generally because like I'm not whatever. Okay. What I'm saying is when you're dating a type of dude, okay, the way I see it is like there's two different types of women, right? There's the women who will date these rich guys and they'll be comfortable with that. They'll be comfortable with that lifestyle where a guy can do whatever he wants and she'll be complacent. Excuse me, I'm choking on my Jolly Rancher. She'll be complacent in that relationship because she'll know like he's paying for everything. Like, I don't know if you guys watch Real Housewives of Atlanta. I just started watching that, but in the season that I just watched, maybe like 2 seasons ago, Portia, I love her to death. But she was married to Cordell, who was an NFL player. And basically he was like that. He was like, I want you to stay home, take care of the household, birth my kids, and I don't want you to work. And you got to choose between your career or being a mom. That's basically what he told her. And he ended up divorcing her, whatever the case may be. But there are guys like that. And there are girls who will be like, okay, like I'll play the housewife and I won't go to work. Like I'll just take care of the household. I'll take care of the kids and whatnot. But there are other women who want their independence, right? And
how are you going to be independent and be in a union?
Listen, what I'm trying to say, there are women, right?
I'm asking a question.
And what I'm saying is there are women who want their independence. And if they know that their dude who they're married to, who has millions, is out there cheating, you don't think they're out there doing their thing? Really?
Not if they're kept. He's talking about kept women. What do you think? First, all right, here's the realization, right? A lot of these, and I'm gonna get to you, Alan, because I want to get your actually, you know what, Alan, let me get your take before I go on my rant. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, Alan, let's get your take because I'm really not done with this. Let's go, Alan.
Yes, go ahead, Alan. And I don't want to hear. I don't care about this. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, please. Yeah, because none of us care about this. Because quite frankly, I'm not married to a rich dude, and I'm not sure if any of you guys are rich that I don't know about. But I'm curious. I'm curious, Alan. Go ahead. Let me hear your take without saying that you don't care.
So essentially, I mean, listen, Iman Shumpert said something very, very plain and matter of fact that let me know that it's none of my business. He said, dudes with money. And those, when you are a NBA ball player, multi-millionaire, you play by a different set of rules. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, I wouldn't say that excludes everybody else because obviously there's plenty of men out there who are still coming with their own money and don't expect their woman to pay bills who are not NBA players. But at the same time, I would say that, listen, everybody has to do what works for them. I think my issue is, and the conversation that I've been seeing is that women are taking this clip and applying it to the assistant regional manager at Best Buy. So there's a woman under the Shade Room comments and under Spiritual World comments going back and forth with somebody on the other side of the earth, or high-fiving some man who's saying, yes, Amon, this is it. This is what we're talking about. You know, they're having all of these conversations across social media saying how he's preaching the gospel, and she's going to go home to the dude that she's dating, who is the assistant manager at Staples, or who works 60 hours a week at the post office, making a good, honest, hard living to make sure that, you know, the roof over the head, and you know, she can afford the Michael Kors watch and all of that. But she's gonna look at him sideways, you know. And so my only issue with this whole thing is that a lot of people are just kind of taking this rhetoric of the 5 percentile and applying it to everybody, and I just don't think that that's fair. That's my only issue with the dialogue. Now, in regards to, me, I can only speak for myself as a man. I've never lived with nobody. Like, I don't have that experience. But ideally, when I do have that experience, you know, I'm always, and I've said this before, like, my thing when I date somebody is I want to have 2 holes, 200%, creating a 200%, not a 50 and a 50, and we'll depend on each other. So, you know, with that concept, whenever I do get into that space and get into a relationship, I'm going to have my own crib, and I will be, you know, would be paying my own stuff. So, you know, I will agree with him with that. Like, I don't want a woman for dependency or codependency for a lifestyle that I may had prior to her. But I also understand that that's not everybody's situation. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not.
And, you know, people fall into these situations where you may accidentally have to lean on each other. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, you know, especially if you have kids. You know, you may move into another city. Somebody may have lost their job. You know, these are things that happen more often than not in reality. So I just implore people to just kind of step back, understand that this is a person who's made well over $50 million within the last playing basketball, and just kind of see through the lenses with reality. So that would be my only advice.
And with that being said, Alan, like with you saying that, I feel like a lot of celebrities who speak on these topics, I mean, even though it should be a given, maybe they should put a disclaimer in there somewhere, somehow, saying like in their tax bracket, like, you know, this applies to people. Yes, this applies to people in my tax bracket.
I want to hear what Jay got to say. Miss Jesse, because I want to hear Jay, are you with us? Or maybe you shut the roll real quick. Or you're not muted. You're muted. Okay, all right. Go ahead, Jesse. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is, like, when like I said, even though it should be a given, but there's these celebrities who come on here and they say stuff like this, and then there's people who are not in that tax bracket or making a certain amount who expect these expectations. But it's like you're dating people who are, like you said, working a minimum wage job. And you yourself are working a minimum wage job. So, like, how much could you really expect from someone in that tax bracket? Now, if you're dating someone who, TJ, go ahead, because your facial expressions.
I'm listening to you.
No. Your facial expressions make it seem like you got something to say. So I'm actually interested in what you got to say, so I can have my rebuttal be more, you know. Clear. Go ahead, TJ. No, I want to hear what you have to say, TJ. Go ahead.
What if what I have to say you agree with and you don't have a rebuttal?
Well, then that would be great. And I will be more than happy to say that. But since I don't know,
well, boys and girls, today's show is brought to you by the letter R. And R is also for racism, but R is also for rules. Can everybody say rules? Rules. Great. So what he's talking about, so what Ahmad is talking about is he's saying, hey, if you don't pay the bills, no bills, which means I'm taking care of you, which means you are not independent. That would mean in a tax bracket, if someone is paying
girl
the
or
bills,
boy, because there's some women who pay all the bills.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're not going to do that. We're not going to change the conversation because the whole time we've been talking about men paying the bills. We're not going to do the whole, but women pay too. The conversation
women do
about
pay. Women do pay. Women do pay.
That's another podcast. I don't know. That's not the topic we're on right now. Okay. So we're talking about the letter R in rules, right? So if you are paying the bills for someone fully, where you don't work, we don't want you to work, we don't want you to pay bills, guess what you are? You are not independent. You are a dependent. That makes you a dependent. And
like
when
a
you
child.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Like a child, so I can claim you on my taxes.
Whoa. What is all this?
Wait, TJ, question.
I'm agreeing with you, TJ. You're a dependent.
Letter R is for rude. Because I'm giving my point.
But wait, I'm sorry. I want you to, in your point, I do want to put a caveat in question so you can continue with this rant.
Go ahead, Alan, because that's why I shouted you out on your birthday.
It's not a rant. It's an intellectual thought. But go ahead. Sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. Your intellectual run. Is the person, if a woman and a man has this sort of agreement, is the woman still dependent if she is making her own money? If she has her own money and it just so happens that he prefers her not to contribute X, Y, Z? Because technically at that point, it's not mandatory.
Y'all are changing the conversation.
No, I'm asking you because there's a caveat.
No,
he's asking you.
And then also, he did mention, he said that, he did say in the conversation, he said, listen, a woman can get her money and that's great. We'll be cheering for her on the side. He did say that. So if that is the case.
Okay. All right. What he's saying is,
make her a dependent is what I'm saying.
Yes, because a dependent is someone, if you are providing food, shelter, clothing, right? She's living with him. We're talking about living with someone, right? We know the things that come with the dude taking care of you. Food, shelter, clothing, trips, and discretionary income that you're getting, right? Some of these women that live like that also get an allowance, right? So here's what we're saying, right? Can I finish? All right. So what I'm saying is, if he's taking care of everything and he's saying this is a standard, yo, you got your money, that's cool, but over here, I got you, I'm paying. So everything that glitters isn't gold. So what he's not telling you, and what Jesse alluded to, is, well, what do I have to do in this deal in order for me to get that treatment? So what are the expectations of a guy who's paying my bills and saying that I ain't got to work or whatever? No. And the expectations are, the rules are that he gets to do what he wants. That
whatever he wants.
He ain't getting. No. Look, that means you're not being combative. That means you're not being sassy. That means when he out and he don't come home and he got it and he's out there and he got his little sliders and you hear grumblings or whatever, you ain't gonna sit there and be checking for him or whatever, because guess what? He's doing what he is doing, and you ain't really got to say so in that, because your role, letter R is for role. You need to know your role and also keep quiet and shut the mouth, because that is the expectations that he's not saying. There's also, you're a kept woman. So when he goes out there and you hear, oh, he got a little something on the side or whatever, you ain't tripping, because guess what? You the one in the house.
You got a little something on the side too.
Come on, stop it. Because guess what? The minute you get something on the side and he find out, you're violating the rules, because none of these dudes is going to be taking care of no girl who's still out there in the streets like that. They're going to say, oh, you want to still be out there? Well, then go out there.
But TJ,
they're not going to have them take care of you. Because if he's taking care of you, you're basically the main one. You're the main one. You're not the only one. You're the main one. And you have to accept that in order to have the lifestyle that comes with dating a guy like that. This is why, and we talked about Khloe Kardashian. Congratulations, Khloe and Tristan. May he cheat in peace on their second child that is coming through surrogate. This is why you let these dudes cheat in peace. What's the word I'm looking for? You are sacrificing or giving up your rights to any sort of like back and forth discourse about what he is doing. Once you allow this dude to be like, yo, I'm gonna just take care of everything financially. I'm the breadwinner. I'm the head of the house. Now that's different. What he's talking about is different from a regular 9-to-5 dude being the head of the household. Which even if the dude is the head of the household, who's praying over you, who's cultivating, who's supporting you, I still believe he deserves the same respect as a dude who's making millions of dollars. So I kind of reject that whole like, oh, I ain't got to listen to this dude if he ain't making $1 million. Now, if you paying all the bills, no, a dude could be paying the majority of the bills and still be holding you down, but still deserves the same amount of respect as a dude who's like, yo, I'm paying all the damn bills.
So amen.
I have a question though, because one, I think you definitely added a lot more sauce than he added when he was talking about it. The conversation.
I'm an intellectual, Alan. I'm an intellectual. Imam was on a podcast. That was a 1 minute.
Because you started talking about being independent, being clothed, getting allowances. None of that was in his initial conversation.
But that's what if you're not working, my thing is if you don't have to worry about money, all that comes with it. So if you do with money and your lady is like,
he didn't say that either. That's what I'm saying. You're adding the conversation that he wasn't having.
It's in the context.
No, you adding things and it being in the context is different.
Just say. If you're not, let's ask just say.
I'm not even finished with my point. This is purely a housing conversation. And also,
no, it's not. That's not what he's talking about.
Play the clip again.
It's not just housing.
Play the clip again.
Can we ask Javonni?
Can we play the clip again? Because we're getting conversations.
Let's play the clip again.
It's not paying any bills in the first place. You chose this bitch.
Hey, listen.
You trust her with what? Hold on.
Stop. What you mean? What girl come in the house and don't pay bills? Are you for real?
I didn't just say that.
You did. You did.
What?
You said she shouldn't be in your house if she don't pay bills.
No, I didn't. I said if she's in your house, why are you paying all the bills?
Cause it's my house. Who?
But why is she? Why is she in your house?
A nigga with money don't want you to listen. I'm gonna give this out to all women worldwide. Niggas with money don't want you paying no. We don't care for you to do that. We not coming to get you for no bread. If you do that and you get your own bread on the side, we gonna clap our hands for it. We gonna smile about it. We gonna be proud of it. We don't need you to do it.
Okay.
That's the advantage of picking up. We don't want you for that. We don't, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You the rich nigga on the goddamn. No, nigga, no. You know exactly what I'm saying to you. You speak French now.
That last one.
I like that.
He's talking about allowances, clothing. This is talking about a homely situation. Like, and it doesn't make her dependent either, especially if she has her own money.
Okay, so what are we saying here? Are y'all trying to figure out if he's wrong or right?
No, they're in denial that if a dude with money and you staying with him and he asking you not to pay bills and stuff, we're trying to say what's the other side of that deal, which comes with rules. The other side of the deal is he gets to go out and do what he want to do, and you a kept person, so you can't really be checking him on you staying out late, who this other girl, who whatever.
No, that comes down to personality, and that comes down to how much you care about the person. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. Oh my God, y'all so naive. Stop it. Y'all need to stop
and
it.
It also comes down.
How was that naive though? How's that naive? That definitely comes down to the type of person you are, how much you will accept and not accept, and how much you love the person.
Hold on. He is saying He's saying blatantly that is not your purse and your money. That's not what you're here for. Do you think? And you think that dude, you're there for what? Casual conversation?
That's not what I said at all. Right. That's not what I said at
No,
all.
I'm saying like he's saying that's not what you're here for. It's not casual conversation.
In a lot of cases, yes, men use money to control women.
Absolutely.
As well as women use our body parts to control men. It is not a one-sided thing.
Welcome back, Jay. Absolutely. Welcome back, Javonni. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Some women do not mind staying in the house as long as that man is paying bills. Mm-hmm. Rock her Louis Vuittons and red bottoms. Go shopping whenever she wants to. Netflix and chill and doesn't have to pay a bill. And then there are some women where they cannot date a man with that much control because they still want to run the streets or not run the streets. I'm sorry. They still want to go out and have.
You said run the streets.
That's how men categorize it. Oh, you want to be in the streets, but it's like, no, I want to go out to the club and have a good time. So, but I do feel like, yes, in a lot of circumstances, a man like that who was just talking, it's some control in there. Now, a nerd, maybe not. Maybe he's really just happy to be with somebody that's beautiful, nice body, big titties. Like, I'm going to pay the bills. I don't give a damn what you do. But if you're dating a man that look good, talk good, got good money, and y'all know what else good, there's going to be some rules.
Mm-hmm. And that's why Javonni, this show was brought to you by the letter R, and R stands for rules. It's only just say that don't get it. Just say don't. She think
relax. Just because I do get it. What I'm saying is that there are different women who will accept different things. Because you can be with a man and be okay with his status, be okay that he got money and that he's out there running the streets, but he's taking care of you. So you're okay with that. You're comfortable with that because you're comfortable and that you know that you're gonna be all set. So you don't care what he's doing. But there's other women out there who love a man genuinely, and it don't matter what your status is. Like, you're not about to play with me, okay? So there's different types of women out there. There's women who are independent. There are women who know how to go out there and get their bag, get their coins, and still be with a dude who has money or lack of, okay, and still contain their independence and either be okay with it or not okay with it. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. Women who are independent, who can get their own bag, they're not going to be okay with a man cheating on them, with a man out there like fucking other women just because he got a bag. No, if you got your own bag, you don't give a damn about that. And even if you love a guy, and you want to be with him, you want to be with him because you love him or whatever the case may be, you will not be okay with him being out there messing with other women. That's what I'm saying.
And then that's also what I was saying.
You don't think the dude that works at Best Buy got a side piece? Come on now.
Look, that's what we saying. It's not just the money. It's not just money.
And then also money changes things, because that's what I was saying earlier, TJ. Like, just because a woman moves into a man's house and he's paying their own bills, that doesn't automatically mean that this is a dependent situation, because she can still be a woman with a bag and she's not going to go for all of that.
No, but she knows that she's getting into that situation. She knows that she's getting into that situation.
Okay, this is what we need to ask right now.
It's better to spend his money than her money. Go ahead.
Everybody's coming from. Do y'all believe in that? Do you believe, TJ, do you believe in a statement? Do you believe in that, to where as a man, if you were financially stable, you will take care of your wife and she wouldn't have to pay bills? Yes or no?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So what's the issue?
TJ is saying that automatically makes a woman dependent.
So you're saying that would you?
No, that's not Alex putting words in my mouth. That's not what I said.
No, that's not what he said, ladies and gentlemen. So
that's not what he said. What I said was, in that situation where he's talking about, I'm talking about those NBA players, those ballers, those millionaires. those girls, those Instagram girls or whatever that's trying to come his way and be like, yo, I want to mess with this dude. If you are a kept woman and he's paying the bills and stuff, that's cool. You could do that all day, every day. But you also don't have a leg to stand on that other women do in regular relationships. So if he decides to have another woman or a side piece or not come home at night or, you know, whatever, you can't be all like, where you at? What you doing? He ain't trying to hit, them dudes ain't trying to hear all that. Them dudes gonna do. No, he's gonna tell you bye.
At the end of the day, then bye. Me personally, I don't give a damn how much money you
He's
got.
gonna kick Jesse out like Jazz from the Fresh Prince.
I don't care. Then you can kick me out.
Jesse gonna be flying out the door.
I don't care. I really don't care because I'm a woman that at the end of the day, like if you don't treat me with respect, and if you're not just trying to kick it to me and only me, I don't give a damn how much money you got.
But that's
you can go.
listen.
He's
not talking about you.
Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be okay, is what I'm saying, and that's what I was telling
he's not
TJ.
Talking about you.
Exactly, and that's why I said that there's two different types or multiple different types of women, because there are women who will be okay with that, and there are other women who will not be okay with that.
That's who I'm talking about. I just don't want those women who are okay with like, hey, he's paying my bills, whatever. Don't ever get it twisted that you're gonna be coming into somebody else's house where he paying all the bills and yeah, you got your money, whatever. But no, them dudes want accessibility and they also want you. He's like, and he literally said it. That's not what you're here for. You there to keep run the home. You straight. I got you. All right. But if I want to go out there and live my life and do what I got to do and make my bread, but you for home, right? Now, in a situation for one, I'm not rich, but I believe in head of the household and being the breadwinner, right? So for me, right, I'm not rich. My goal is to aspire to pay 80% of whatever I'm doing with in my marriage, right? Mm-hmm. Right? So even if I'm not married, it would be 60-40. It will never be 50-50, right? It will either be 60-40 or it will be 70-30, 80-20. You see what I'm saying? But there also comes with a respect. Your respect as a man and the head of the household is not just financial. There's more to it than that. There's praying. There's supporting your partner. There's all these other different things that come with being the head of the household. The financial part is just one of the things. But if you think a dude who's doing the right things and who is the head of the household, who is the primary breadwinner, is going to put up with any sort of disrespect or whatever, it ain't going to happen. Not saying that you can't have an opinion. You can have an opinion. But I'll just say this to some of the women. I know Jesse ain't going to like this. Let's just say this. I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking about things. If something happened, you know what I'm saying? You ain't going to let some other random girl just ruin everything. You know what I'm saying? Like every relationship has its different rules. You see what I'm saying? So if if there's, you the main, if there's, a side of fries or some loaded mash or a Caesar salad somewhere, that's all right. But he's always coming to the main. I know that may bother you, but there's what's the problem? If that's what the boundaries in your relationship. If it's not,
exactly.
But
it's
some
what
women
you choose to accept in your relationship.
Correct. Now, I'm not saying that a dude, like because I'll never say this. Right. I'll never say, I'll never be a proponent of financial abuse where a dude, because there are some dudes that will sit there and pay 100% of the bills, want you to be nothing but in the house, and you don't do nothing, and you just do whatever. No. I'm not with that. And plus, you never, as a dude, you never want, like, nobody gets a free ride. You want to be contributing something, even if it's miscellaneous things. That 20%, that 25%, you still want, in this economy, you got to think economically. In this economy, you still want somebody to bring home something. You see what I'm saying? To bring home something. But everybody's trying to get into that upper echelon. I'm talking about regular schmegular dudes trying to get into that upper middle class, high class lifestyle, not millionaire, billionaire. But if you can get into that, over 6K range, yeah, You can run your household and be comfortable. I don't think, but I don't believe, no. To answer your question, I know I was kind of long-winded, but to answer your question, I don't believe in 50-50. That's no knock on anybody that does. I personally don't believe in 50-50 with a partner who's actually living with me or even cohabitating with me. I just don't. If I'm asking you to come stay with me or I'm asking to take care of you, that means I got it.
So TJ, let me ask you a question.
You should respect me not because I'm financially providing, but because of who I am as a man and as a person. That's where the respect.
So you think it's okay for a man, and I'm not saying you think it's okay, but I'm literally just asking you, for a man who provides, let's say 100% of income, right, for a woman, you think it's okay for him to go out and cheat and do whatever it is that he wants to do because he's providing 100% financially? Yes or no? Yes or no?
If it's not, there's more to it. If it's outside of the bounds of the relationship, then no. If she's not cool with that and you doing it just because you got the upper hand in financial, like, oh, she can't go nowhere, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cheat, then no. But if you up front with the rules and saying, hey, I am paying and doing all what I got to do and treating you right, whatever, but I want to dabble every once in a while. Okay. If she's cool with that and saying, yo, you go ahead and dabble as long as you home and doing whatever, and she's cool with that, fine. But if you like, oh, you dependent on me, and because you depend on me, I'm gonna go out here and fuck out all these other girls just because, then no, that's wrong, because now you're just being a bully. And those women who will sit there and listen to that, they'll be like, oh, okay. They will get their ducks in a row. They will sit there and get their paper together, and they will cheat and break your heart, and you could be paying 100% of it, but she's not going to last because you violated the sanctity of whatever union or relationship that y'all have. But I will say this. If you got a good man, ladies, if you got a good man, you got to know, I'll just say this. You got to know, you got to count the cost.
Yeah.
You got to count the cost. If you got a good man and 80% or 90%, he do what he's supposed to do. But every once in a while you hear some grumblings. You gonna really? Let me ask y'all. Let me ask y'all. I'll ask y'all that question. If you have a dude who is taking care of you, who is providing, who's there for you, who's supportive, who wants you to attain your goals and stuff like that, who's making sure that he's there for your kids, all that good stuff. But every once in a while, you hear, oh, I think he was out with some random girl. They kind of, went on some little date or whatever, Are you going to throw all of that other stuff away because some random person, they had a brief sexual encounter?
I mean, if you love me, you're not fucking with nobody else, because let's do it vice versa. Let's do it vice versa. Let's do it vice versa. Because men cannot handle the same hurt that they put women through. So if we're talking about vice versa, and you love me unconditionally, and I'm doing da 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 da, and I go and I sleep with another dude, how you gonna handle that? How you gonna feel about that?
What is this? Why do you do this? Why do we do this? Why do we do this?
What?
Can we stop? Why do we do this? This may be this may just be a thing. Why do we always do this? We are talking about this scenario, and we always turn it into women could do this shit too. Why do we do that?
Wait, time out, because that's the truth. If you're gonna talk about one side, then you gotta talk about two sides. The other side, we're not gonna do double standards over here. We're not doing double standards, because if you're okay with a male doing it, then you need to be okay with a female doing it, and that's what I'm saying.
Just say we know. I get what you believe, and I wholeheartedly know that you believe.
It's not about what I believe; it's about what's right and what's not.
Great, but guess what? And this is my thing: you are absolutely right in your beliefs and in your philosophy, right? But the reality of the situation is that there are double standards in this world. I didn't make them up. And I may want to tear some.
Yes, there are double standards. Okay, go ahead, CJ. We can go. Matter of fact, we're gonna have to call each other after this podcast because
I don't want
we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
So wait, I'm sorry. Just say, what was your answer? Yes or no?
For what?
For his question.
I don't even remember. What was his question?
Right.
He was saying that if
ain't just be odd.
Let me hear the question.
The question was, if you was in a really good relationship and he got a little side cooter, would you stay? Yes or no?
No.
Because if it was a really good relationship, you would not have a side cooter. So if you think
that's not how men work,
bro, okay, and you don't think that's how women work? Cut it out.
Oh
Cut it out. No, stop it. And that's what I'm talking about, them double standards right there. Because that's basically like you saying, like, damn, babe, like, I really love you and I care about you, but I got this nigga on the side because he eat my pussy and you don't. Excuse my language, but that's what I'm trying to say. Double standards right there, like, it don't go. Like, you cannot have double standards, CJ. I'm sorry. But if you're going to look at it one way, then you got to look at it on the other side of the spectrum. And if you can't do that, then we're going to have to cut this conversation short.
Okay, but wait.
We can get a Jay and Alan.
I think you guys actually agree because TJ admits that he wouldn't stay with the girl, and you admit that you wouldn't stay with the guy. So
this is why what Jess say is missing is the caveat. If it is out of bounds of the sanctity of the actual relationship. So, for instance, if the relationship is he's doing 90% of whatever or say 90 or 95% of the things in the relationship, he's taking care of you, he's doing what he's got to do, he's there for you, supportive, he's good with your family, yada, 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 right? But if he's up front with you, like, look, every once in a while, if something might happen, but I don't want to lie to you about it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If that is violating you, then guess what? Then that is 100%. If that is not one of your if that is violating one of your boundaries, then he's not gonna do it, or he's not gonna be in a relationship. I think it's wrong if the dude does it, knowing that it violates. What I'm asking you is, would you be okay if a dude is like, and you know that the dude is like, he's taking care of you, he's there for you, he's supportive, but he's like, look, sometimes if I go on a trip, don't ask, don't tell, I ain't gonna bring it home, but you know, I know who I come home to, but if things happen, they happen.
So the way I see it, like I said before, it comes down to like the type of person you are and what you will accept in a relationship. For me personally, what I will say is that how I am is that if you think you're about to do that to me, don't think that I'm not about to have something on the side that you might know or you might not know about, because you're not about to sit here and think it's okay for you to sit here and be like, yeah, okay, just because I provide A, B, and C, I can go out there and do what I want because I provide A, B, and C, knowing that I love you, knowing that I take care of the household, knowing that I make sure that when you come home, I'm your peace. But you can go out there and do whatever you want in the spur of the moment because of temptation. And that's okay because you provide whatever you provide. But what men don't understand is just because you provide that, you forget that I'm your peace. You forget that when you come home, shit is taken care of because I'm making sure that I'm holding it down because I love you.
You're not my piece on my podcast. You're not my.
Right. That's not the point. But that's not the point of what we're talking about right now. But what I'm saying is that if I love you, if I wholeheartedly love you and I'm taking care of shit in the household, and when you come home, you don't got to worry about nothing because I'm making sure that you don't got to worry about nothing. I'm not pressing you about nothing. I'm not texting you, where you at, what you doing, da-da-da-da. But you feel like just because you in temptation or whatever the case may be, because you have it presented to you that you can just go fuck another bitch. No, bro, I'm sorry, but don't be
a nice lady. How she become a bitch now?
Okay, all right, she could be a nice lady. You're right, she can be a nice lady, but don't get mad if I find me a nice man on the side too.
Well, can I ask you? I'm gonna put this question. I'm gonna put this question out to the two ladies, and then I'm gonna let Alan do his thing, and then I'm gonna let y'all have it.
You can put it out to Jay and Alan because I stand on where I stand.
I'm gonna ask. I just want to put it. Can we agree? And I'm gonna put it to everybody. Can we agree when it comes to relationships, when it comes to physiological makeup, that men and women are different. Not just physical anatomy, but I'm talking about what makes us tick. A dude, and I'll just say this, and I know Jesse is going to disagree with me. A guy can step outside, and I wouldn't say even step outside. A dude can sit there and sleep with a woman, right? Like you made a statement saying, "Oh, if you sleep with another dude or you sleep with another girl, that means you don't. That means you don't love me." That's not true. Not for men. You see what I'm saying?
I said that.
You did.
I don't think I said that because I do think that you can like be involved with someone else. I do. Okay, if I said that, let me retract because I do feel like you can go out and fuck somebody just because of temptation or in the spur of the moment and still love your shorty. I do feel that because of temptation, but you're not loyal. There's no loyalty there. And me personally, I can't be with someone even though I have done it. But it's hard for me to be with someone who's not loyal because I'm always going to question you. And I feel like you cannot have a healthy relationship if you always have to question someone's loyalty. Because loyalty before love is more important to me.
But this is why I said if it is outside of the bounds, and I've said, and I'm going to keep saying it until it sinks in. If you are doing something outside of the bounds of the rules of the relationship. For instance, if you're a dude that's like, look, I'm gonna hold you down, I got you, whatever, but there may be every once in a while I may step out. I'm gonna come home.
TJ, that's different. That's case by case basis. Because that's like you already had that conversation with your partner. And if your partner is willing to accept it, that's different, TJ. But if I tell you,
that's the only thing I've been talking about. And I'm not talking about universal. I'm not talking about universal.
I've said it's case by case basis because if your partner is okay with it.
What I am bringing up to you guys is you're making it seem like if a man go out there and he step out and he cheat, a woman could do it too, and just as good. Women are built different than men. Women are built different than men to be having. A dude could sit there and bust a nut and go to sleep and be. Women are built different, and not only that, when it comes to safety stuff as well, a woman can. These dudes out here will sit there. You think you could just in this day and age just give a dude some, and then he'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna just leave you alone," and wham bam, and that's it. No, these women have to worry about stalkers. Women have to worry about dude hitting them back up in the DMs, like, yo, so you ain't. So what happened? So you just things are different. The dynamics are different. I just want to point that out. But I'm gonna give it a J, and I'm gonna let y'all rock, and then we can wrap. Go ahead, Jay.
I mean, yeah, the dynamics are different. I mean, as far as the aspect how you just described it, as far as a man can still want it even after they're done. So are you saying like more women plan? They know who they're gonna have sex with, opposed to men doing it and it's
correct. Correct. A woman has to have a connection because when you have some sort of a connection, some sort of vibe, it's always when a woman cheats, it's always some sort of void that the man is doing, right? Rarely is it, oh, he's fine. I'm just going. Usually when she's in a relationship and she steps out, it's because the dude. It's because of the dude. I said rarely. I know that there's people who's out there doing the WAP, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, whatever. But rarely, right? Rarely is it where a woman is like. Usually, it's if she's with a dude and she hooks up with another dude, it's because whatever connection that they had, work husband, whatever, it's because he made some connection that was that she is voided in her relationship. That's why there's more of an emotional connection, even if it's not overtly emotional. There's some sort of connection that allows the woman to relax and be open to the opportunity of having sex or stepping out.
I feel like women do stuff that makes sense. Men don't.
Yeah, man. A dude would be like, a dude could. That's why you see so many dudes having sex with women who are unattractive and be like, oh, she had a fat ass. Like he will just look at, he's not having sex with her. He's just like, dudes will cheat with a body part. Oh, so she's got nice lips.
You need therapy.
Dudes, it's really not that. It's really elementary when it comes to cheating. It's not that complicated. There's no like putting the equation. The dude is like, ooh, she's fine right there, spur of the moment. And they could dump it. You see what I'm saying?
So you don't need to be in a relationship,
right?
If it's outside of the bounds of if it's outside of the bounds. But we're talking about there are certain rules.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain rules. There are certain rules in relationships, and that's why everybody's relationship and their rules and their boundaries are different. And I think that's my story.
Yeah, I agree.
And relationships are different. So that's why I tend to not judge people.
But women deserve to have just as much sex as men.
Period.
Yes, they can. I'm not hating. Dudes is out here, women's out. I'm not hating. But if I'm with a woman who's like, yeah, you want to step out every once in a while, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, me too. I'm gonna be like, cool, bye, like that. Because
that's what happened on the side. They had an open relationship in their marriage.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
On the shot, the shot.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
hey,
it started watching, but it was pretty good.
But that's what that whole "I'm single and we go together" topic is. It's like, hey, we go together,
and dude,
but I'm single. Huh?
The dude, Tiffany's husband, he couldn't even take it.
Will Smith and Jada, didn't they have an open relationship too?
And also, I would do the flip thing. Dudes aren't built that way. You're absolutely right, just say. Dudes aren't built that way for their woman to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go out here and go sleep with the next dude, and then I'm going to come up laying next to you. Dudes ain't built that way.
They can do it, but once women do it, it's a wrap.
No, once your women do it, they're no longer for women. You take yourself into a different category. Go ahead, Alan. And
I have a question for the women. I mean, because I always think it's like a weird thing. Like TJ spent 5 minutes telling women why women do women things.
Don't do that. Don't do that shit.
But we have two women here. So is there any objection to what he was saying?
Don't do that.
Like he's telling y'all how y'all move and how y'all take and why y'all do things and what you guys can and can't take. And it's like we have two women right here. Like, are there any objections?
You know what? What women don't do, we don't reveal our secrets. So
period. And we were cheating.
We ain't telling y'all.
This is why we can't advance. They just let us talk and say, "Oh, look at these fools. They think they got us down pat and don't say a word."
Exactly.
Y'all gender.
But I'm glad y'all telling us everything because I need to take notes.
Period.
This is why fellas. This is why I say, fellas. She's not your. When I say things like she's not yours. It's just your turn. I'm the bad guy. But then they say things like we don't reveal our secrets. It's the same thing, but it's okay. I'll be the villain.
I'm gonna keep what I have to say.
I do believe about what I will say that
more a large
majority of women who are in relationships with men, if they do step out of that relationship, it is because there's a lack of something. They're trying to find it. They're trying to fill the void. They don't want to leave the person that they with, so they just go get it from somebody else. Men, on the other hand, everything could be great and y'all still cheat. So I don't really know.
Exactly. And like I said, men like that, y'all need to go to therapy because there's an underlying issue that y'all don't even know about, that y'all need to go figure it out. Because like Jay said, y'all will have everything and more from a woman, and you will still go out and cheat with another bitch just because she got a fatter ass.
Like who was that? Carisha a couple of days ago on her podcast.
Who?
Kevin Gates?
Kevin Gates. Was it Kevin Gates? Yeah. And he was just like, I don't care. She can go get it from another dude. I don't care.
He's like, oh yeah, if you record, like they recorded, he'll turn him on. Yeah.
You don't care because you know you ain't shit dude. Like you just, that's why you don't care. So
you're not a high value man.
As long as y'all have sex, that's how you're gonna make it up. But you're not surprised that she's stepping out on you.
Yup.
Well, a lot of times in relationships, dudes step out in relationships because women will be like, "Oh, I'm doing everything for you." Like, let me not even say that. That's another podcast. I'll save that one. I'll save that gem.
Wait, you were saying because women be complaining.
A lot of times, women think y'all holding y'all dudes down, but y'all not actually loving them correctly the way they need to be loved. And so, in a man's and a man's wants. A man will sit there and be like, yeah, she's cool, and tolerate a lot of stuff just to keep the peace. Men keep the peace in a relationship. A man's feelings are never the top priority in a relationship. The relationship is always in jeopardy when the woman's not happy, not when the men aren't.
It'd be like that sometimes.
When a man is not happy, he better keep that shit to himself.
So what TJ
look,
is
just saying, I'm saying this now, and just they don't even want to hear what I got to say.
So
I personally don't agree.
He's saying that sometimes men cheat for the same reason that women cheat, an emotional void.
And all the people who cheat just need therapy. Period.
I'm enjoying being single because it's just too much to do.
It is. Being in a relationship is a lot.
It's cold.
Soapboxx Nation 2023 for the love of Javonni.
Hey, we gonna do the Bachelor. We gotta do a Bachelor episode.
Bachelorette Javonni.
Yeah.
We're gonna have 5 different episodes with 5 different hairstyles. You know what I'm saying?
It's cold out here in these Jumanji Street. It's cold out here, so y'all better. Winter's coming, so y'all better get warm. But yo, what's your moral of the story? I'm gonna start. Go ahead, Jesse. Go ahead. What's your moral of the story?
You always got to start with me. Damn.
Okay.
What's your moral of the story, Javonni? I can't. I'm done. I can't take this. What's the moral of the story, Javonni?
Call it what it is. That's my moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen. If you see something, say something. If you feel something, trust your instincts and don't be afraid to call it what it is. If you caught the beginning of the episode, we were looking at Rosita and the Sesame Street in Philadelphia. And it was a matter of, did I just witness something that I think is racism, or was that just a hand gesture to everyone in the crowd? But a mom called it what it is, and she felt like she was being discriminated against her and her children. And I feel like we need to start calling stuff what it is. When people treat you wrong, that's what it is. When people ghost you or treat you all different types of ways, that's what it is. And somebody cheating on you, that's what it is. And so that's where I am right now. Is whatever you show me, that's what I'm gonna believe.
Word. All right. Alan, what's your moral of the story?
Hard to come back from that, huh?
That's his moral of the story.
Listen, my moral of the story is, fellas, save your money. Women, ladies, save your money.
Yes, everybody.
Don't be dependent on nothing but the almighty dollar bill, y'all.
Anybody else need to do a moral of the story? I'm gonna do my moral of the story since Jesse don't want to go. She gonna go last now. Since
what? I will definitely go, TJ.
No. You had your turn. My moral of the story is very simple. You got to do what works best for you. The podcast was brought to you by the letter R. Do what's best for you in your relationship, but also make sure that you are not violating somebody else's boundaries. If you can't count the cost and the cost is too high in that relationship, well, then that's not the relationship for you. So the art of negotiation is the ability to negotiate something and walk away. If your standards of what you want and your needs aren't being met in a relationship, well, then the art of negotiation is for your ability to wipe your mouth with your napkin and excuse yourself from that table, knowing that there's other tables and other suitors out there. So, but the grass is not always greener. You always hear that. And sometimes you got to make things work for you in your relationship. So, and I will also say this, there are a lot of good dudes out there. There are some good dudes out there. Don't let Jesse lie to y'all. There are a lot of good dudes out there. But excuse me, don't let me mute your mic. If he out there and he's treating you right, but he give you a little, there's a little piece of cheating. If there's a little piece, and he tell you about it, y'all communicated about it, but he holding you down, ask yourselves, you don't have to answer. Ask yourself, is it worth throwing everything away for these flings? Just a little bit? That's my moral of the story. Y'all chew on that. Anybody else want to do a moral of the story? Going once? Yes. Going twice? Oh, Jesse. Jesse, close us out. Do the moral of the story and the closing, please.
Okay, my moral of the story is exactly what Jay said. Call things for what they are. So contrary to what TJ might think or believe, if somebody is doing you dirty and you are not okay with that, baby girl, leave, because I can promise you that there will be another man in this world, and vice versa, men with women who will love you for you and appeal to your standards. Now, if you're okay with a little dibble and dabble here and there, then that's your preference and that's okay. But if you're not okay with it, you do not need to settle, because there's someone out there who will not play about you and you will not play about them, contrary to what TJ may believe or say. And like he said, the moral of the story, or the whole theme of this whole discussion, is the letter R. So have a rebuttal to what people might say.
I can't stand your ass.
Okay,
A rebuttal?
Have a rebuttal, because listen, what he may say or what she may say is not always right. So make sure you set your standards high. If you're okay with it, okay, boo, that's you, do you. But if you're not okay with it, it don't matter how much money he has, because I can guarantee you there's an old ass man in another country with billions of dollars that you can get with who will meet your standards. Okay? So thank you, everybody, for watching the Soapboxx Podcast. Love y'all. I'm sorry, TJ, what's that?
I have one thing. I just had something that came to my mind. I think we should do a show about why do we think that everybody is lovable? It's supply.
Everybody is not lovable.
Why do we think that everybody deserves love and is lovable out here in this world? We keep telling people that.
We can do that.
Because even the miserable people that don't deserve love can match up with other miserable people. So everyone deserves their equal.
Everybody deserves to be loved.
Whoever doesn't deserve love, something happened in their life.
Y'all gonna start selling.
Somebody wasn't just born just.
I think we need to start making T-shirts with our individual quotes. And
everybody deserves.
Hey, I'm down to make a two potato T-shirt. Would y'all
I know
wear
somebody who can make T-shirts. We'll talk about that after the show. I'm dead ass.
Hey, you didn't do the sign off. Now you got to do the sign off.
I was trying to, and then you said you had something to say. So you go ahead, TJ. You take care of it.
Okay. For Alan York, for Javonni, for Coach Javonni, and for Rudeness, which is brought to you by the letter R, which is for Javonni, for Alan York. Hey, we appreciate y'all, Soapboxx Nation. Thank y'all so much for supporting us, and we are out. Peace.
Tell them what we talking about. Anything. Tell them what we talking about.